What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video on Juniper Rising, and today I'm going to be talking about 10 things I want from Destiny 2's incoming expansion, Forsaken. And so I whipped out my notebook. You can hear it here in that crispy audio soundtrack that you're listening to right now. And I wrote down, I'm like, what are the 10 things that I want most out of this expansion? Because if you're like me, you have high hopes for this thing. This thing is going to save Destiny 2. It looks extremely promising to me. My hype level is at like an 11 out of 10 right now. To be completely honest with you guys, I haven't felt this excited about a Destiny expansion in a very long time. Not for Osiris, not for Warmind, not for anything. So I have 10 things that I hope. I don't think all 10 of them will get into the game. If I had to guess, 7 of these will be in the game. There are a few that I'm just like, I don't know. These aren't really in any particular order. I'd say number 1 is the number 1 thing I want, but 2 through 10 are in no particular order. So let's start off with number 10. Our Guardian should talk again. That is a huge thing. It seems like a very small thing to nitpick in Destiny, but I actually really miss the voice acting and our Guardians talking in cutscenes. It made me feel more of a connection, and if you could alter the voice of your Guardian to make it more your own, there are games where you can actually like play with the bass and things like that, and you can actually go into like a little sound customization center. I would never expect Bungie to do this, but and you can like alter the voice. But even if you just bought like voice packs for your Guardian, that would be a reasonable price, or you can unlock them through gameplay or something. I think that could be a new tab, is what voice does your Guardian have? Or what would be even crazy is if you could like record yourself through your headset microphone saying a few key phrases, and then that turns into like the game audio. I don't know, I'm rambling on about really cool stuff, but that's probably not going to happen. But I just want our Guardian to talk again. I really did like the voice acting in Destiny 1 and Vanilla Destiny, so I'd like to see our Guardian talk again. Number 9, new interesting exotic armor that actually matters. There hasn't been a single piece of exotic armor that has changed my playstyle in Destiny 2. Not one. I think it's all quite boring. They all take turns on which one is the best, but it's never been like a conscious choice I've made where I'm like, you know what? I prefer this playstyle. I'm going to equip this piece of armor, or this piece of armor has an ability that actually changes the game for me. Nothing exists in the game like that right now. In Destiny 1, there were plenty of things that, like, I remember when I first got Ackley-Phage Symbiote in Destiny 1 and Vanilla Destiny, it was crazy because it was a 4th golden gunshot. Like, that was something that was so different, and it's very simple. And I believe, you know, they obviously have the remade armor and stuff, but everything just seems so watered down. Like, Bungie's very afraid to take a risk on any of these armor pieces in case they end up being broken. But with the way I think that they're kind of structuring these Vidocs and these trailers, they're saying, you know what? We're not scared to break our own game anymore. We're not afraid to introduce something that could possibly break the game, because you can always patch it. You can always make it better. I think back to things like Prometheus Lens and even Graviton Forfeit, even though I wouldn't say Graviton Forfeit is like OP to the point where it needs a major nerf. Sorry, I just hit my hand against the table. I'm just thinking of Suros Regime when Destiny 1 first came out. That was a very powerful weapon. That I would say was probably broken. I remember getting killed by that in the Crucible quite a few times. So that's number 9. Number 8, keep Gambit interesting. Gambit looks like a really fun mode, and it could quite possibly be combine everything that I love about Destiny into one mode. It could possibly do that. It could possibly be my go-to thing when I launch a game. I'm like, you know what? I only have half an hour to do something. My favorite thing to do is Gambit. I'm going to do Gambit. It could honestly replace Crucible for me, but I don't see that happening if they only have 4 maps and they never really change anything out. They never will mix up that formula of Gambit. If there are different objectives, if there are different maps, if there are different, like, it would be I don't know if there are different PvP elements in the game, because obviously I think that this mode weighs a lot more on the PvE side than the PvP side. So you could, this is a platform where Bungie can really have some fun. I just want them to try some new things out. And if they keep it interesting, if they keep adding things to it, if they keep expanding to it so it can really become a third pillar of the game, then I will be super happy if they keep it interesting. But Bungie could, I remember being excited for things like Archon's Forge. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm going to be doing this every weekend. And then it just kind of overstayed its welcome because it was the same thing over and over again. So it got really boring and really repetitive quickly. And I desperately want Gambit to stay interesting. Number 7, I want reduced microtransactions. In this day and age in 2018, I would be floored if Bungie removed all microtransactions from the game. In my opinion, I think a game company, if you're going to have paid content after the original payment for the game at all, you should choose between downloadable content or adding content to the game in a season pass or expansions or whatever, and you should choose between that and microtransactions. I do not like it when the main trend I see is with like Activision, really, and EA. Those are the two big companies. So those are the two big publishers where it's like, oh my god, really, you're gonna have both, and you're gonna make them like major pillars of your game. And thankfully, Destiny's been pretty good with not being pay to win, but we had a $10 emote available last season. Like, that is not okay. Like, you cannot expect what some full video games are going for nowadays. You can't expect us to pay $10 for that emote, you know? So reduce microtransactions. I do not expect them to get rid of them, but you know what? A few bucks here and there. I think microtransactions are growing. I think when they were first introduced in the Taken King, that they were at a great state. But of course, I could assume that they're only going to become a bigger part of the game, and obviously they have now almost overtaken the currency cycle of Destiny 2. Okay, I'm done talking about that. Number 6, easily accessible activities that'll reward high-level loot. So I want something other than raids and Nightfall Strikes that will reward you high-level loot after you've hit that wall, and you know, you're like, oh my god, I have to grind hard mode raid over and over and over again if I ever want to reach max light. When you get to that point, I think Bungie should design it where it should be exciting. You should have exciting activities. You know what? It would be great if there's an exclusive activity that you could only do when you are on that last stretch between, like, I don't know, the rumor is 600 light. I think it's gonna be it's like some weird jump like that to Forsaken. You're at 585 light and you want to get a 600, for example. There is like a mode that opens up and it's just like, oh my god, I can finally play this mode and it's gonna give me the loot I need, but it's very hard, but it's very rewarding. I mean, that'd be amazing. Also, it is very difficult in this day and age, and if you're a person like me and you have no friends who play the game anymore, it's so difficult to find a fire team for a raid or for Trials of the 9, which I love Trials of the 9, by the way. I keep saying they should have a Rumble version of that for players, and some people just prefer to play solo, if there's a Rumble version of that where you just kind of climbed your way to the top without relying on teammates. But I want more activities that'll reward high-level loot, because they are very scarce, and it makes Destiny feel a lot more grindy once you kind of get to that last stretch. Okay, we're halfway done. Number 5, gameplay mechanics to be reworked, especially weapon ammo currency. I want to be able to use a sniper in the Crucible again. Destiny 1, before the final update, before Destiny 2, or it may have been like the spring update after Rise of Iron. Ever since then, I have not been able to use, excuse me, I have to burp. I have not been able to use most of my favorite weapons in the game. Like, snipers are obsolete now. You cannot use them. And they are, this is why I'm excited, they are adding in snipers. They basically, the weapon system is being reworked, so it's like Destiny 1, so I can use a sniper again, and it'll be effective in Crucible. Because that was kind of Wolfpack Round. Wolfpack Round was built on chasing these really good snipers. When I think of great snipers, I think of Longbow was my sniper. LDR, But Not Forgotten, Black Hammer. No, not Black Hammer. Oh, what was it called? Black Hammer was the old name. That might be the name of it now. I don't know. God, I can't believe I forgot the name. But anyway, really good snipers like that, and that was the thing, is we'd get those good snipers with short gaze, you'd get the perfect roll, and you go in the Crucible and you can try and hit clips. I have countless Destiny 1 clips of me getting great either double kills or just multiple kills or just a great shot with a sniper, and that was just like, oh my, those are my best Destiny moments. When we go in the Crucible, we'd spend weekends, we'd spend a night, and we were just like, you know what, we're gonna go for clips. We don't care about KD, we don't care about any of that other stuff. We would just go for clips, and that would be some of my favorite memories. But also because I think the way that the weapons are set up in the game right now, it's very bland. Just because, I don't know, it's just a bunch of the same weapons that you're using over and over again. Pretty much you're only using primaries. So I think that could be retooled quite a bit. Number 4, expanded lore. I want the Grimoire to be in-game now, and Destiny has had those little cards that go along with like exotic weapons that you, and armor and ships and stuff, that have a little bit of lore, and it like teases at things, but I want the full-on Grimoire in the game. That'd be incredible, because Destiny, I still stand by this statement, it has some of the best lore out of any gaming franchise today, and I'm not making that up. People criticize, they make fun of this game for having terrible story. This game has a great story, it just has terrible presentation, and that's been something I've been saying for years, since 2014 when this game came out. This game has a great story but terrible presentation, and the lore is super exciting. There is some amazing stories that are told in the Grimoire, in this game's lore. If you dig just a little bit and you're like a casual fan, or just someone who is under the preconceived notion that Destiny has a terrible story, go, My Name is Bife does a great series on Destiny lore, and you will learn so many things about this universe. It's just like, why don't they put that in the game, or why don't they put that in an expansion, or why don't they at least expand on this element, you know? And that stuff it's just missing from the game. But Destiny has great lore, and I love the lore of this game, and I want it to be in the game. So that's number 4. Number 3, exotic quests for cool new exotic weapons. There hasn't been there's been a real lack of really great exotic quests, but when you're finished, you get like the best gun in the game, and it's incredible. Or something that, like, I think that I usually grind for weapons if I find out that they're good in the Crucible, just because I feel like my PvE loadout is just going to be set forever. But I'm just always looking for that new gun, that new meta, and I just want something that's just an all-around great weapon. I like the Might of Multi-Tool quest was pretty good, and that's the only one that I can think of that was really worth talking about in Destiny 2 so far, in the whole cycle of the game. So I'm just gonna turn this down just a little bit. No, not that far down. There we go. And that's the only one I can really think of as Might of Multi-Tool. So I just want some new quests, I want some new weapons. Oh, come on, my phone just went off. HQ is on, guys. I just want exotics that change the game, because I haven't seen an exotic really lately that's just like, wow, that's a really cool ability. And it's not watered down. It doesn't like clickbait you into like going for this weapon and then you just find out that, oh, this isn't as great as I thought it would be. Bungie's been playing it safe with their exotics, and I just want them to break this game with some great exotics, and that's when this game will get really fun. Number 2, new Crucible modes and maps. This one is simple. We're going to get this. I can almost for suredly say there's going to be new maps. I can almost for suredly say there's going to be new modes. But I don't want another Supremacy. I think of great modes, and I think of things like a Rift, where it was unique. I think of things like Mayhem, when that first came out. That was great. I mean, TTK's new game modes were really fun, and for some reason, Bungie doesn't like to include them in the game anymore. They like to include Clash, Control, and Rumble, and everything else. New competitive modes, that would be great. I really like Survival, Countdown. Those two are really fun. What's the third one? There's a third one. I can't think of it. So maybe there's only two. I don't know. But I just want the Crucible to be expanded because I was pretty disappointed with the Crucible offering in the last 2 expansions. Not really much to talk about except for Bannerfall. Bannerfall is amazing. That remake. Alright, and number 1, and I'm pretty sure this will be on everyone's top 10 list of criticizing Destiny of all time. I want an interesting story that'll make us care again. I'm gonna drop the notebook right now. You know, The Taken King had a really great story, I thought. In my opinion, it's the best story that Destiny has ever released. Rise of Iron, okay. And since Destiny 2, everything's just kind of just stumbled and fallen down, you know? And I think, and you know what, I love where the story is going. The trailer that they showed us at E3 with Cayde 6, that is going to make us care. You took pretty much the only bright spot of hope, the only bright spot of the Destiny 2 campaign that people enjoyed, and you just shattered it. You killed him off. And I really do think Cayde is going to remain dead. There is talk about Cayde 7 coming. I think that'd be... I feel like Cayde 7 is going to come into play somehow, just because 7 is just like Bungie's been leading up to this. 7 is their number, you know? But it does beg the question, you know, who the next Hunter Vanguard will be after Cayde 6. And that's the main thing, is there's Cayde 6, a new enemy type. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the trailers, but there are new enemy types in Forsaken. They are fallen. I'm doing air quotes right now. You can't see them. They are fallen, but the Barons have these new minions that are almost like a hybrid between Fallen and the Hive, but they have these really cool new abilities that look awesome, and visually they're unlike anything we've seen in the game yet. And the Barons look really cool. The Barons seem to have these really neat mechanics, and I want to learn the backstory of, you know, why the Prince of the Reef is doing this. Why does he hate Cayde 6 so much to kill him, cold-blooded murder, and why is he attacking the Vanguard again? What is going on? I really am interested to know what is going on right now, because Forsaken, we didn't really know what the real story was until that E3 trailer, and it gave me goosebumps with the music and everything. And I think that Bungie is pushing this series in the right direction with Forsaken. I really do. So I can't wait. I think, if I already guess right now, this will pass the Taken King expansion, and that is a very I want to say quick thing to say, because obviously we thought Destiny 2 was going to be amazing, and it was for the first hour, but then it kind of wasn't after that. So I don't know, but this just has a different feeling, and that could just be me, you know, hey guys, look, it's new stuff, you know. But I think Forsaken will be really good. And yeah, those are the 10 things that I want. This video went on a really long time. Oh my god, I'm just looking at the time right now. We're hitting 19 minutes right now, so I'm sorry this went on for so long, but I'm getting excited talking about Forsaken. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you liked it enough to leave a like down below, and if you really liked it, subscribe. And if you're feeling somewhere in the middle of the day, comment down below. Let me know what's going on. I read all your comments. Some of you guys say some really nice stuff, and it makes my day when you comment down below. So until next time, this is Juniper signing out.